Welcome back. Poker Vlog episode 16. We got a new format for you guys today. We're going to be reviewing this hand I played pretty recently, and we're going to dissect it, analyze it in live time, and then go back and review it with more like solvers and GTO and look at the ranges and how aligned we were. We opened for $15, small blind, big blind, both call. Flop is ace-9-4, rainbow. Pretty consistent with how live poker goes. You got an overpair, you pre-flop raise it, and an ace-high board comes out. They both check, we're gonna check back, pretty obvious stuff, you guys know that. King of spade comes out on the turn, and once again, you know, we're looking for two people to check, and we're gonna check back, maybe we can still spike a jack, and then they'll probably bet half pot and we just give up. Or they bet half pot here and I give up as well. This is where things get a little bit off the rails. Big blind bets $45, which is full pot, and I make the call because I didn't think big blind could have that many ace X's that would bet pot because we already show weakness and it doesn't make sense in my brain. So I called in a sandwich, kind of dangerous. River is a queen of heart, $135 out there now. And this card is better for us than for him because he's not gonna have too many queen X's. And if he had ace-queen, I assume he would 3-bet pre-flop, even though if you look in the charts later, which we will, he actually will have ace-queen here. So there's actually more queen X's than I thought, for him particularly, than I originally anticipated. He bets $80, which is, like, I think, more than half pot. And it's pretty dicey river now, because we can't beat any value for sure. And he doesn't have enough bluffs, I don't think, like only a few combos of suited spades, so not enough bluffs. Probably medium value, you know, hands that are like ace-9, ace-8, ace-7, maybe ace-10. I think I can certainly blow those hands off, so I'm gonna raise it up to $300. Jacks look like the best bluffing candidate because you heavily block up Jack-10. And if you think about it naturally, we're not gonna have too many bluffs here, right? That check flop, that calls pot for the turn, and then just bets river. We're not gonna have too many value. Our value is specifically gonna be Jack-10. So if our value is gonna be Jack-10, then we wanna use jacks to block that up and then represent it as well, right? So that's probably the best candidate to ever bluff with, honestly. And it comes as quote unquote natural. Now, what do you guys think about this sizing, right? Do you guys hate this or do you guys like it? Do you guys think we should rip it? And I'm kind of leading you guys towards a certain way because I already looked through the solver and let me tell you right now, this is not correct what I did, but it worked and I got him to fold, right? All right, let's go back to the flop of ace-9-4. We had jacks. We all know we're supposed to check, but if this was heads up, fun fact, we can actually bet this 1/3. It's kind of like a blocker bet. This is the small blind range that he's calling pre-flop. There's a lot of hands that are pretty premium. Jacks, 10s, 9s, 8s. Keep in mind, this is simmed for 150 big blinds at 6 max because I don't think there's a full table currently. And this is big blinds range. If you need to go back, just pause it, go back, you can look it over. Our equity pre-flop is about 54% equity against the two of them, so it's a pretty sweet spot, and we're definitely kicking ass. I mean, jacks is a pretty premium hand, right? But post-flop, we're about 28%. That's not so great when the ace-high flop, and basically we're third place, which makes sense of why we want to check, and we want to just fold when they bet out. Now we're about, I don't know, 30% on this river. So keep in mind, calling the turn is a 14%. If you rewind, you can see that it's a 14%. By the river, we're 15% equity against this entire range, and that's only if he bluffs, right? So our equity is probably even less than that because he's just so much more heavily towards value. So what do solver want us to do? It wants us to rip all in. If our opponent bets $80 here, we rip $800. If our opponent bets $30 here, we rip $800. It doesn't matter what our opponent does, we rip $800. Well, technically $750. And this is because our opponent has to fold almost everything here. It folds ace-9 suited, it folds king-9 suited, it folds ace-queen suited, a little smidge calling of ace-4. I don't exactly know why. Probably blocker effects, folds ace-king, folds ace-queen. Yeah.